Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyle and I make lifestyle vlog videos and just random little fun videos that I want to make. And today I thought it would be super fun to make a beginner's needlepoint video. I have really recently gotten into needlepoint over winter break when I was home in Tennessee, and I honestly wanted to start needlepoint because I have this bad habit of when I'm watching TV or movies or something and I just like doom scroll on my phone on like Instagram, sometimes like TikTok as well, but it's just a habit that I hate that I do. It comes from a place of like me wanting or like not keeping my attention, like the show or the movie that I'm watching, like my attention span is so short. I think all of us feel that way, but my attention span is so short that I just feel like I have to do something else while I'm watching, and so I turn to my phone because it's just always near me, and I hate that. So I found needlepoint because I was finding like what can I do instead of like scrolling. Like I need something for my hands to do while I'm watching a show or a movie, even like watching YouTube videos. And I stumbled upon it needlepoint and I just thought it was such a fun and interesting hobby. Before I started looking into it, I had never seen people really do that before, and now it's having this huge moment where so many people are getting into it, which I think is just so much fun that we're all kind of experiencing this journey together. So I thought I would show you guys what I have done so far. I've completed one project. It's really small, and I'm currently in the process of working on another that I'm really excited about, and I'm just going to show you guys what I've learned so far. So stick around. I'm so happy you're here. So for my needlepoint bag, I just have this like LL Bean bow and tote that I honestly wasn't using for anything, and I feel like you kind of accumulate a lot with needlepoint. Same with like knitting, crocheting. Like I feel like you just have a lot of like small supplies that you need to like keep together. So I'm using this bag for that purpose. But here is what I have so far. So I guess I'll start with this little pouch that I have. When I was in Tennessee for Christmas, I went to this place called Stitchers in Memphis, and they were wonderful. If you're like in the Memphis area, highly recommend going there. It was, from my knowledge, the only needlepoint store in Memphis, or like in the vicinity of Memphis, if you're familiar. But they were lovely. Everybody in there was so knowledgeable, and they were all so nice. I told them that it was my first project, and they were also like encouraging, and they helped me find everything that I needed. But what I got at Stitchers is this cute little snail. How adorable. Oh, I just love her. And she's finished. Like I'm fully done with her. And she's definitely not phenomenal. Like don't look too closely at the stitches. She could be a lot better. But for my first project, I'm very impressed. I think it looks really cute. And honestly, I'm just so proud of myself for doing it. So there's that. But I'm going to turn this one into a little key fob. They had them at Stitchers in Memphis when I went, but I didn't pick one up, and now I'm kind of like kicking myself, so I'm gonna have my mom go pick one up for me, or see if they sell them on like Amazon or something. I'm sure they do. But the lady said that it's super easy to finish this because you just cut it out and then you stick it in the key fob and then it's done, because finishing is like a whole nother beast of a time, and I have no experience on that. I have not finished anything, clearly because this is my one and only project. But I'm really happy with it. And my advice for if you're picking out a canvas the first time, pick something small that is like only a few colors. I would say like 3 colors tops, like straight lines like this. I picked this because it was small and they didn't have anything small that was like straight lines that I liked. And this was fine, but curves are just kind of hard, especially for a beginner doing like a first piece. I think this was quite ambitious, to be honest. But yeah, my advice would be to pick something that has some straight lines for the most part. Like, it can have other things, but like has some straight lines for you to at least like start on. That would be my advice. Also, needlepoint canvas comes in two forms. It's 13 mesh and 18 mesh, I believe. And 13 mesh has bigger squares. 18 mesh has smaller squares. It's like the amount of squares in a certain range. So if it's 13, the squares are a little bit more spread out, and 18, the squares are a little bit smaller together. And this is 13 mesh. And the other one that I have that I'm working on currently is also a 13 mesh. So that would be my other advice for if you're a beginner. Pick something that has larger holes. And you can see it when you're looking at the canvases. You'll be able to see like which ones have larger holes and which ones have smaller. And my recommendation would be to pick one with larger holes. Also, online, places sell beginner needlepoint kits, and I didn't go that route because they can be kind of expensive. But if you like don't have a needlepoint store, they call it an LNS, a local needlepoint store in your area, highly recommend looking online. It can be like a way to find fun canvases that you enjoy, like if your needlepoint store doesn't have any that you like. But they sell beginner canvases that are like fully kitted, like they have all of the string and everything that you're going to need to finish the project. So that's a really good route if you're just like wanting to try it out, and you just want something like fully put together for you. I think that's a really, really good way to try it. But this, I just went to the needlepoint store and I picked out the like strings and stuff that I wanted to use for that. And for this, they give you a needle, at least like my needlepoint store did, and also the one that I went to in Boston did. So I think that's just kind of run of the mill how they do it. They give you a needle, which I think is so nice, and that's pretty much all you get. Like, you get the mesh, they give you a needle, and then you pick out your strings that you want to use. And if you're a beginner, my essentials I would say that you need are, you need strings, obviously, like whatever you're knitting or whatever you're needle pointing, you need to figure out what colors and stuff you want to do. And there's tons of different options. These are like the Essentials brand. They are just like on a card. You can get skeins, and then you can also get cards. I prefer the cards if you're doing something small, because you don't need that much color of anything, and so it's just like a more cost-effective way of doing this hobby that is quite expensive if you've looked into it. They also do sell like skeins of yarn that if you're doing something with a ton of one color, you would probably want to do that. And again, your needlepoint store would like walk you through this. If you just tell them like it's your first time trying a needlepoint project, they would like help you kit your project, you know. Every needlepoint store that I've been to so far has been absolutely lovely. All the people that work there, so highly recommend just telling them that it's your first time doing a project, and I'm sure they would be willing to help you. Another essential is some good scissors. These are just from Amazon. They have like a fun little holder, but just like a really good sharp pair of scissors is an essential. With the amount of cutting you do with the yarn and everything, you're gonna want some good scissors. And an essential for me would be this threader. You guys, some people can thread the needle no problem. There's no way. This little threader is an essential in my head. So highly recommend. These are so cheap on Amazon, and they come in like a whole little pack of them. But this is my little container of string that I have. String essential, floss essential, little flosser, needlepoint flosser, scissors essential, and then an actual card with a needle as well. Now let's get into the project that I'm currently working on. It is this cutie. How pretty is she? Oh, I just love her. I've only done a little bit of it so far. I've done a little bit of this green, and I've done a little bit of the like light pink and white up in the flowers, but I'm loving how this is turning out so far. So again, this is 13 mesh. I like the larger holes, especially because I'm a beginner. I don't really know what I'm doing, right? The 13 mesh is just so much easier in my in my mind. Some things that you might want to get that are like not essential but are nice to have if you're doing a larger project. Like for this small project, this would not be necessary, but for something of like this size or similar, you might want to get stretcher bars, which are these things on the back that you can assemble, and you pin your canvas down to the stretcher bars, and it just makes it so that your canvas stays like taut and it doesn't like pull, because I've heard that people have issues with the mesh like warping if you knit or if you needlepoint really tightly. So having stretcher bars just kind of eliminates that from happening. And to pin it down, on Amazon they sell these like huge packs of tacks. I got these at my needlepoint store, but it's the exact same thing. You can get these on Amazon, but it's just these tacks, and then it has this little blue thing inside as well to take the tacks out. So that would be like a non-essential, but if you're doing a larger piece, highly recommend. And then this little cute guy, this is my needle minder. Again, totally not an essential, but such a luxury. It does what it's called, you know. It's supposed to keep your needle where it's supposed to be so that you don't lose your needle when you are wanting to do your project. So convenient. Highly recommend. Again, Amazon has so many needlepoint stores that I've been to or always carry them. So I would highly recommend that as well. And yeah, I think that's it for like supplies that you need. I have these fun little like bags, but like these are not essential at all, but it's just nice to kind of keep your stuff kind of consolidated and in one place, because it is kind of a lot of supplies. So it is nice. Oh my gosh, how could I forget this? This is an essential. This is an essential. If you're doing a project on stretcher bars, having a little light to illuminate your project, you guys, I know this seems like such overkill, but look. There is nothing like this. Like, this makes doing a project so much easier in my mind, because you guys, my eyesight is fine, but the holes are small, okay? And when you're like up close, it's hard to see, especially if you're doing a project at night. This just makes it so much easier. This was all of like maybe $10 on Amazon. Highly, highly recommend you get yourself a little book light to help yourself with your project. That is like all of my needlepoint supplies and my essentials that I would tell you if you're a beginner to get. 2 stitches that they tell you to learn right off the bat: continental and basket weave. There's like the 2 most popular stitches in needlepoint, and there are so many videos online about continental and basket weave stitch, but I can do a video on those too. I'm no expert, trust me. But if you guys want to see that, I could do that as well. But that's my little needlepoint video. I hope you guys enjoyed. There's also something called a snag nabbit, and that is in my Amazon cart. I will be getting one of those, and everybody that I watch online who does needlepoint says that you need one of those. It's basically like a needle with jagged edges on it that pulls through threads. Like, for example, on this one, I have little threads that kind of stick out. Like this little pink thread is kind of like not all the way in. And you just push it through like you would do a normal needle, but it grabs the thread and it pulls it through so that it looks more like even and uniform. And I think that's an essential for beginners, especially, because a lot of your stitches are probably not going to look phenomenal. So that would be another one of my add to your list to get. Not an essential, but nice to have. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!